Hey, what's up? YouTube land. I haven't gone live on here in a long time. I was just live on Facebook and Facebook messed up my live. So instead of going live again on Facebook, I decided I'm gonna go live here on YouTube. Maybe some of you guys will catch this video. Maybe most people probably won't, but that's all cool. And I wanna jump on here. First, I wanna thank everyone who saw the community post yesterday and responded to it about our 5-year anniversary. Kali Center is now officially 5 years old as of yesterday, September 5th. And then, so for those of people who checked out that post on the community, those people who have liked it, commented, the people who checked out our Facebook page post, Kali Center community post, the Instagram post, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate you guys, giving the thumbs up, saying congratulations, and all that stuff for 5 years of Kali Center. Crazy, so crazy, man. So I just kind of been out, like I was doing my training earlier this morning, also filming some videos and stuff like that, filming some inner triangle stuff, some clips I'm going to be doing for YouTube, getting ready for my trip to Belgium. I got a whole 2-day training camp I'm doing in Belgium. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And so kind of just getting ready for that. Just making sure I'm kind of getting my head clear and everything. And yeah, like yesterday, 5 years. So I started this YouTube channel September 5th of 2014. Crazy. And from 0 subscribers to almost 70,000 now. To me, that's like incredible. That's unbelievable. It's, I would have imagined it. I remember when I first started Kali Center 5 years ago, I was like, I bet you we won't even get over 200 subscribers. Like, it's gonna take forever to get to 200 subscribers. I'm like, dude, like people are not interested. We'll try, but like, it's just, and 5 years later, here we are at, almost 70,000 subscribers. I mean, to me, it's mind blowing. So, and I've been training every single day, and I mean, just doing it, right? Just doing it. And so yesterday, all day long, I wanted to jump on live and stuff, but I was just too busy. I just couldn't get to it. And but I was thinking about it. I was just kind of reflecting on the last 5 years and like what Kali Center was when it was starting, what it is now, and kind of like where all the different routes that you can go with it in the future. And it's just crazy because it started off as just a little couple videos on YouTube in a simple little concrete box. If you go back and you look at the old videos, you'll see that we're just in like this cinder block, 4 walls garage with a concrete floor with some writing on the wall. Terrible filming equipment, right? We used like a really cheap camera, and I had a cheap audio thing that was monotone. It wasn't even stereo. I didn't even know anything about it back in the time. It's like you go and look back on those old videos from like 5 years ago, like the first videos, you'll see people in the comments, oh, my left ear really liked this video. I didn't know anything, right? So it's like such a learning curve over all these years, learning how to like make videos, learning how to communicate Kali better with other people and different types of people and all kinds of stuff. Making stuff that's kind of controversial for people to kind of get upset about. Like, I still get emails about my Karambit video, Karambit being the worst EDC weapon. I still get people with videos. Email me, this is the most ridiculous video I've ever seen on edged weapons. I'm like, dude, that was the point, dude. The video was supposed to rile people up so that way you take sides. I mean, you have to create that, right? And anytime you put out an opinion on something, right, it's gonna rile people up. And I know, like, for our YouTube channel, like, we don't get a whole lot of like activity on it. Like, we don't get a lot of comments. We don't get, You know, we don't have like a ton of followers or, you know, subscribers. I think we have a lot of subscribers, but like in the context of things, like we don't. And I know a lot of that is because, like, you know, there's not a lot of, like, when you're putting instructional stuff out there, when you're giving people drills and you're giving people stuff like that, like content that they can go out and use, they can practice right now, you know, you're not going to get a lot of that controversy, you know, around it. And the controversy is like really what like blows things up. But I remember being in that little concrete garage box, me and Tom contemplating the whole Kali Center thing, like, dude, like, and I was like, I want to like teach it. You know, at the time there was like no Filipino martial arts at all on YouTube. It was like demonstrations. The little bit that was out there was like fast demonstrations of like hubad, maybe a couple disarms, some sombrada, but nobody was teaching. And I'm like, but I want to teach. Like, I want to give something to people that they can, like, you know, they can get a pair of Kali sticks or a pair of dowel rods or cut a broomstick in half, and they can just start training right now, like in their living room or, you know, in their backyard or whatever. Like, they could just, let's just give them stuff that they can actually do. And that was like the whole thing of Kali Center, because it was like, let's promote Filipino martial arts. Right, let's not just like show it off. Let's promote it. Let's get people involved. Let's get people in their own homes getting up and practicing Kali, even if it's really basic strikes, even if it's basic twirls, basic footwork, you know, just really simple stuff. Let's just get people started. And that's what I wanted to do. And it's really cool because I still receive messages today of people just starting their Kali journey. You know, and I mean, it's awesome. Whether they decide to go the Kali Center route and train with us, or they find somebody else maybe in their local area, or they're researching online, they go, I like what these guys are doing better. And it's just about being involved, right? That's it. Like, Kali Center was never, you know, to be a popularity contest. It was to be a promotion. That's the whole point. Like, the lifestyle of Kali, train every day, you know, increase the athletic ability of your body, strengthen the sharpness of your mind, you know, understand the emotions that you feel every single day, and then the transitions between all these things. Like, that's what, you know, Kali is more than just swinging a few sticks, you know, and learning like self-defense techniques. In my mind, self-defense is the least requirement in martial arts training. There's so much more to martial arts training than just self-defense, right? Way more. You know, and then I don't want to go too much off topic, but then you have self-defense. It's not, self-defense isn't just about learning techniques of, you know, how to fend off an attacker. Self-defense is also like, but how do you take care of yourself? How do you take care of your body? How do you take care of your mind? How do you take care of your emotional state? How do you defend yourself, right, from yourself, from all the distractions that are around you? It's not just human to human contact type of self-defense, right? But that's another topic. So it was really cool, just kind of like reflecting yesterday on the last 5 years, and kind of reflecting now, like kind of just finished up my first session of training today, and just kind of going for a little bit of a hike, and just kind of like reflecting on it, because every September 5th it's another milestone, you know? And it's just really neat to kind of go back through the timeline, maybe go back and watch some of the old videos and stuff like that, and just kind of be like, wow, you know, we've, like, look at the growth. It's like it's kind of like a video journal. Like, I could see the growth in me, not only in my Kali, but even just in my personal life, right? Just in all my practices. You know, you can see the growth in Tom, you can see the growth in Ali, you can see the growth in everybody. And a lot of the people that train with us, whether they're in our inner triangle or they're just kind of following the YouTube videos and they're posting on the Kali Center community, like, just watching the growth of everybody it's just an awesome, awesome, awesome thing. You know, and for me, like, I'm so blessed to be living in this time with this technology where we can do this, right? Like, we can communicate from anywhere, you know, virtually in the world, and we can do this. Like, we can share together, and we can learn together, we can grow together, you know, we can debate together, like, whatever. We can do it all. And you know, just think about it. Like, 20 years ago, people weren't able to do this, right? They couldn't just go live like this and talk to people. They couldn't just upload a video that would instantly, you know, be able to reach tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, and have an impact on some of those people's lives. You know, or get, you know, inspire them to get off the couch and make active changes in their life. Take control, command an amazing life to live. You know, it's like we have all this now. Otherwise, you were just influenced by whatever the little circle in the town was, right? And we know that not all those influences are good for everybody. Right? It's not what everybody wants. You know, so sometimes I kind of think about that side of things too. Just the communication, the vastness of what's available to us nowadays. So it's pretty cool. But I want to kind of just publicly thank everybody that you know, watch our videos, that take the time to hit the thumbs up button, that takes the time to comment on the videos, especially the generous comments. When you're thanking Tom, you don't have to thank me, but like when you're thanking Tom, when you're thanking Ollie and Kevin and Raph and all these guys for their time, for their assistance, and helping me make this possible. And then make sure that you guys are thanking each other, because, you know, if it wasn't for you guys viewing, you know, if it wasn't for you guys subscribing, right? Every time you subscribe, every time you watch a video, it's massive amounts of support. Every time that you hit the thumbs up button, every time that you comment on a video, it's huge support. Like, you have no idea what that actually means to Kali Center, right? As a whole, for everybody involved in Kali Center. Because if we don't have the support, right? If we didn't have that, I couldn't keep going with it, right? I couldn't keep giving, you know, the Kali stuff that I've experienced, that I've learned and experienced over the years. Like, I've been, as of this past June, June was my official anniversary of 20 years being involved in practicing Filipino martial arts. And I've trained with a lot of different teachers. I've trained in a lot of different styles and systems and all that over the years. So I've done my own kind of research and work and training to kind of figure out, okay, what's my program that I want to teach? Like, what's my expression of Kali? You know, and now we teach that at our Inner Triangle stuff. You know, so it's like every level of support, you know, truly there's real gratitude there. You know, there's real thanks. There's real appreciation. All the way from just, you know, watching the video to, you know, subscribing, to being active on the videos with, you know, the thumbs up, the comments, sharing the videos, all the way up to, you know, even purchasing our advanced training materials, you know, our DVD downloads, our training courses, or getting involved in the Inner Triangle, or coming out to train with us in person at our seminars and our training camps. Like, every single level, you know, of support is very much appreciated. And that's what allows me to continue doing this, you know, and doing what I love to do. You know, and not everybody is fortunate enough to be able to do that in their lives. So, you know, that's why, you know, when we hit these kind of milestones, I just feel that it's important to thank everybody personally, you know, however I can do that. That's why I didn't do a pre-recorded video of this, right? I'm going live because I want it to be genuine. I don't want it to be like, oh, you don't know if this took, you know, 50 takes or something like that, right? It's exactly what it is. And, you know, that's what we're doing. So I want to say thank you guys to you guys, because I thank my staff pretty much every single day. because I mean, they're just incredible. Number one, like, Tom's been training with me for over 10 and a half years now. January will be 11 years that he's been like dedicatedly training with me. You know, I remember when he came into my garage, you know, back, you know, 10 and a half years ago, he was a 19-year-old kid. So like, I've watched him grow up and become the man that he is today. You know, and maybe I've helped that. Maybe I've helped kind of influence certain things in his life to help him along that process, so that, you know, he can start to discover what his potential in this world really is. And you know, and it's not always easy for these guys to put up with me. I could be very demanding. I could be very commanding at times. You know, I can get impatiently frustrated, sometimes patiently frustrated with them, you know. Sometimes we have to like we've built training programs, and as I'm editing it, I text them and be like, we got to redo this entire thing. It's just shit. You know, like, that drill was wrong, or, you know, it just, something wasn't right. The shirt wasn't tucked in. It doesn't look good. It's missing an angle. You can't see the complete detail of this particular thing. Or the filming was bad, or the audio quit out, and I'm like, we got to refilm the entire thing because the whole thing has to be uniform. Mind you, that the first time we filmed it could have literally been 2 or 3 full days of work. And now we have another 2 to 3 full days of work ahead of us, right? Because we got to redo the whole thing. That's just the filming stuff. That's not even like the time I have to spend editing and all that. So the patience that Tom and Ali and Raph and Kevin, and in the past Joe, you know, some of the guys in the past that was with us, the patience that they've all had, very much appreciated on my end, because I know I'm not the easiest person to work with. You know, and I know sometimes like I could be a little bit hard on the guys, and you know, it's just the way it is. Sometimes people are like, "Can I get a job at College Center?" I'm like, Tom will be like, "You might want to think about that first." Like, it looks like it's all fun and games, but sometimes it's not. You know, and the training for those guys, I mean, it's hard. Like, the training, the standard and expectation for the staff is, I mean, they throw up. Like, I'll just kind of go through it. If you kind of want to know a little bit of what it is, every staff member has been to the ER, including myself, from training. We've all been severely dehydrated. We've all had to throw up. We've all had, I mean, just extreme risks just from training. We've all had to pull each other up from some kind of just thing not working out too well, training, hiking, you know, whatever it is that we're doing together. And just so much appreciation to the staff guys and the staff candidates who get us sick. Oh shit, this is what I'm, you know, volunteering to walk into. You know, our staff guys, it's like they're volunteering to walk into the storm, basically, right? Like, if there's hell, they're like volunteering to walk into that, because it's not easy. Like, I don't know if you guys seen some of our, like, when we're like our staff training videos, like when we do our staff retreats and we're hiking and we're training, like, we're literally training, like, literally this step, you'd be going off of a 200-300 foot cliff, and like that's what we're training on. Sometimes, you know, some of our videos, like when we're out hiking and stuff, like, you know, and you can kind of like see the distance, like we literally have like a 200-foot drop, like just inches away from us. And, you know, it's like, well, we'll take the risk for you guys. I'm like, come on, man, don't be scared of it, just be good. So huge thank you to the staff guys. I mean, just being able to put up with me and everything. So like when we're making the videos, you know, if you don't comment much, just comment thank you to the guys. Thank Ollie, thank Tom, you know, thank the guys that are in the videos. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to thank me, but thank them, because it's not easy, man. It's not easy. All right, let me just kind of go through here. I don't know if we have any questions or anything like that. Hey, what's up? What's happening, Donnie? Armand. Nice. Tapio, when you started Kali, how old were you and how old are you now? I first started Kali when I was 15 years old, and I am currently 35. So as of this past June has been my 20th year anniversary of practicing Kali. I started martial arts when I was 6. So I've been involved in martial arts my entire life. I started off in it was called, at the very beginning, it was called Budo Aikido. Like I still have my old uniform from when I was 6 years old with the patch. And then later they changed it to Budo Taijutsu. It was like through the park district of the hometown. Then from there I went on to Taekwondo, you know, experimented in different like martial art, like kind of traditional arts like that. Found my way to Kali, Filipino martial arts, through a friend of mine. And then that kind of drew me into like the Jeet Kune Do world, but I always kind of held on to the Kali world at the same time. And during my time where I was training and studying and teaching JKD, I did a lot of other martial arts at the same time. So I was training boxing, I was training grappling, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Sambo, and there was always Kali there. I was always practicing Kali. I did different forms of kickboxing, a little bit of Thai boxing, a little bit of Savate. I dabbled in Krav Maga. I dabbled in different forms of Kung Fu, Wing Chun, different Japanese arts, Aido, Kendo, small circle Jiu-Jitsu. I never really got into Aikido, but I did a little bit of small circle Jiu-Jitsu. Sometimes some of these things might have been like doing a couple seminars. Some of the things might have been finding a school near me and doing some classes, you know, and then some of these things is like we had at the JKD school that I went to, we had students that were there from all different backgrounds of martial arts. So we had, like, that's where I started learning about small circle jiu-jitsu, because in my JKD school, we had a black belt of small circle jiu-jitsu that was a student, that was one of my peers. So we would get together and we would train, you know, he would show me some small circle jiu-jitsu stuff. And I'd show him some of different Kali stuff that I learned in the past at that time. I met my boxing coach through there. I met a lot of my first grappling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coaches, wrestling coaches. We had a Pancratian guy that was there for quite a few months, like 6 months. And, you know, that was kind of the nice thing about my JKD experience, is because I got to meet people from all different martial arts backgrounds. And I got to explore those things. And, you know, I trained with people that were ranked, you know, black belts in it, competitors in their respective arts. And sometimes I'd pay them. I'd pay them for private lessons. I'd go to their house, or we'd meet up at a park and they just throw me around for a while, you know, and I'd try to get the techniques and all that. So, but I always, since I was 15, since I experienced Kali for the first time, FMA for the first time, I always held on to that, and I was always coming back to that and practicing that. So that's kind of like my martial arts background. Let's see. Where are you from? The Philippines. I'm not from the Philippines. I don't have any Philippine heritage in me, but I have Spanish, Italian, Scotch-Irish, some Scandinavian, and Native American. That's primarily what my bloodline is. So my three dominants is Italian, Spanish, Scotch-Irish, with some Welsh in there. That's my primary heritage. So some would say that, you know, like my Filipino friends, my Filipino students, like Ali and stuff, Jeff, other people, like, well, that's how we're related, is through the Spanish blood. Some Filipinos like that and some don't. Well done, dude. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for the cool videos. Thank you for watching them. You've been training Kali as long as I've been alive. Yeah, dude, life is weird like that. The older I get, you know, my students start to kind of stay the same age. I remember my instructor back when, like when I used to teach at the JKD school, my instructor, Matt Numerick, I remember him saying that to me. He's like, I'm getting older, but all my students stay the same age. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. If you have any other questions, I'll just kind of hang on right here and answer any questions if you guys have anything for me. Sometimes I get asked if I'm going to do a Q&A video. I'm like, well, I've done a few in the past, but they don't do too good for me. Some people like Q&A videos. Like some people like when they do a Q&A video, they get like, oh my gosh, dude, they get so many questions that come in. They get so many views and comments and all kinds of my Q&A videos just don't do good. I'm like, people aren't interested in asking me questions. They just want my stuff. It's just totally fine with me. I don't mind not getting personal, so. Have you ever used a knife in a street fight? Dude, I grew up skateboarding in Chicago, dude. What do you think? You think I haven't experienced violence? Right? I grew up in the murder capital of the United States of America. Out of the mass shootings, both mass shootings in Texas in one weekend, which was terrible, Chicago in that same weekend still outbeat murders. And just shootings alone. That's not even counting stabbings and, you know, all the other stuff here that happens in this city. So I've witnessed violence. I've been a part of violence, you know, but yeah, this is a nice area. So the area that I'm hiking in right now, I am about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes west of Chicago, west of the city, downtown. And where I'm at right now, I was talking with one of the land managers of this forest preserve here, and he was saying that this right here is one of 3 of the last true natural savannas in the entire Chicagoland area. All the other savannas have been decimated to build houses and, you know, stores and all that stuff. So right now, like if I go on the other side, it's like prairie and, you know, woods and all that. But where I'm in right now, there's like the higher level, I'm on the upper level, and then over there is the lower level. And that's what he was saying. So, I mean, I got to take his word for it, but he was saying this is one of 3 of the last true savannas in the Chicagoland area, which is kind of sad, you know. So hopefully this place gets preserved for a long time. Like Bussey Woods, which is a huge forest preserve that's a little bit closer to Chicago. It's about 20 minutes closer to Chicago than what I am right now. They just sold off like a mass amount. It was like, I mean, not like a mass amount compared to it, but like 20, 30 acres to develop an entire like tech park over there. So it's crazy. Do you know anyone that train in the Philippine style that teaches in the Port Angeles area? I'm 80 miles from Seattle. I'm not 100% sure. I know that there are some PTK people in Seattle and in Tacoma. I don't know where you are. I don't know I don't know too well the Washington State geography. But I do know that there are some PTK people in Seattle. I know there's some in Tacoma. And I know, like, you know, if you start going a little more south to like Portland and stuff. But as far as that with Washington, I'm not too sure other than that. You know, you might have to Google search, or you might have to go and just try to, like, you know, start going to like different events and stuff that are in your area or close to your area. Like, look up different martial arts events and start going to those, because sometimes, like, you'll find people, even if there isn't somebody in the area that's already teaching, you might find someone that's interested in Filipino martial arts, and then you can just kind of partner up with them and train with them. Like, we have a lot of people that do that through Kali Center. So one of the reasons why I started doing like the online training stuff, like the Inner Triangle or the Training Academy, stuff like that, is because we have a lot of people that contact us all the time, and they're like, we don't have anyone in our area that's teaching Kali, like any form of it. I'm like, well, go ahead, you know, just grab that stuff, start training it, you know, and then, you know, if there's a partner, if there's anyone in your area that you can partner with, then, you know, you can get together with them and just form your own training circle, you know, and just work on the material, you know. So that's always an option too. So, message retracted. Oh, someone must have put a message and then what, deleted it or something. So yeah, there's all kinds of like stuff that you can do like that. Like, I've done a lot of traveling for my training, and I know that's not like possible for everybody. But you know, just kind of like, sometimes you get if you look around and you can't find something, you got to look at, okay, what's the next best option? You can choose either A, not to do it because there's a roadblock there, right? There's a excuse not to do it, or you find a way to create a solution for yourself, right? Like I'm not going to be staying in the Chicagoland area forever. Eventually I'm going to move, and I'm going to move to a much more secluded area. So I'm not going to have like Tom and Ollie there all the time. But that's not going to stop my training, right? That's not going to stop me, you know, from training every single day. Like, I've got other training methods for solo training that I can continue training, continue my study, and keep pushing myself. I know it's a little bit different for me because I have more of a background. I was trained with hundreds, if not thousands, of people from all over the world. And, you know, I mean, I've created something out of it. So, like, we have chapters. We have Kali Center chapters that are now starting to form. We got our first 2 chapters in Florida. We have a chapter in St. Augustine, Florida. We have a chapter in Pensacola, Florida. We're looking at officializing the chapter in Belgium this next weekend. So we're starting to have Kali Center like official chapters popping up, and I know it's like, you know, I can kind of travel around and train with everybody, but like, I just made sure that I was involved in the communities, and then eventually like just kind of started building my own thing and just kind of doing it. But that's one of the goals for Kali Center. Like, the future goals is to just kind of like have these officiated chapters, so that way people can have access to training in person and all that stuff, whether it's through me personally or through a chapter. And eventually you get to train with me as like I go around and, you know, do all that, seminars and stuff like that at the chapters and everything. Because we're expanding it out, man. Like, we're always looking at, you know, how can we be more involved with our students and people that want to get involved and all that stuff. So it's a little complicated subject, but put some creativity to it, and you can definitely make it happen. Can you talk about training with your dominant hand versus offhand? I'm left-handed and tend to solo train that way. I can. So my PTK instructor, when I was involved in PTK, Tim Wade was my primary instructor. He was left-handed, but you'll never see him actually fighting solo bolo left-handed, because the system doesn't really work that way, because unfortunately majority of people are right-handed. So you lose a lot of tactical advantages of contradas and different tactics, break-ins and things like that, breakouts, because it doesn't work. It's like, I kind of relate it to the orchestra, right? Like, you're never going to see a left-handed violinist in an orchestra, like, it's because it doesn't work, because the bows cross. And when you go into starting to fight in units, So like at our training at Kali Center, eventually like we teach you how to fight as a unit. So we'll start, like, as you develop individual skill, then we'll start teaching you how to not only fight 1-on-3 or 1-on-6 or 1 on whatever. We'll start teaching you how to fight 3-on-3 or 3-on-6 or 10-on-16, right? Like, we'll start going through all that stuff. I was showing some of that stuff at my this year's ITC, which is our 5-day immersion training camp we do once a year. It's a 5-day intensive. We trained for around 50 hours nonstop. I mean, it was insane. But you know, you can't, if you have someone that's left-handed in there, it's kind of like the Spartans with the shield wall, right? You can't have a left shield next to a right shield because it creates a weakness in that link, right? They can't link and they can't lock together. And the same thing happens when you are fighting as a unit. So when we're training Kali, right, you have the right hand, which is the primary weapon, and the left hand does, it's a different type of operation. That's not to say you cannot fight left-handed versus a right-handed. We learn those skills when we start building the double weapons, the double sticks. And the Espada Yadaga is different because the Daga has a completely different operation than the Espada. But you start learning some of the left versus right and right versus left on the double sticks, but you have the support of the other hand, right? You have equal protection on both sides of the body. You don't have that on single sticks. Not to say it's not able to be done on an individual basis. Fighting left-handed versus right-handed can definitely be done, but there's more cons than there are pros to it. You don't have equal power and equal speed on contact. There's really technically no contradas, right? There's really no same side of the flow. The tactics just aren't there. So where you could properly maneuver your body to the proper positions geometrically to protect yourself. So I have left-handed students, but they understand this as their training, because when we start doing unit training and multiple opponents and we start really flowing and fighting, very quickly they start to realize this. And they've also learned that it is not hard at all to train. They learn really quickly that it's not hard to train their right hand skills anyways. Some people accept that answer. Some people don't accept that answer. I don't know where you are on that spectrum. That's your own investigation you have to do. But as far as fighting as like a unit, when we get to that, there's just too few left-handed people that we just can't, it doesn't work. So if majority of people were left-handed, then naturally, right, I would be saying this about right-handed people then. But it's like less than 20% of the population is left-handed. So unfortunately, right, you have to go with what the facts are and what the probabilities are. Again, that's not to say that if you're not interested in learning those avenues of Kali at some point, if you don't have any interest in understanding how those other tactics work, and how the unit fighting in Kali works, then just train the individual skills that you can. Understanding that you will always still be limited because you can't play the games, right? It just doesn't work. So you just kind of have to make that decision. But as far as the offhand, right? So there's kind of two questions that you ask there that you kind of blended together that are actually two completely different questions. So you have the primary hand, which is the weapon wielding hand, the primary weapon wielding hand, and then what people call the offhand. First of all, it's not an offhand. This hand is never off, right? It's always on. But this hand has a different operation, especially, I mean, even if you have two sticks, equal length sticks, but especially when you have a single weapon or unequal weapons, right? Like Espada Yadaga, or knife and empty hand, or stick or bolo and empty hand. This hand has a different function completely. It can be used for hitting. Let me go this way. It can be used for catching and grappling, right? It can be used for a lot of different things, but it's not used tactically the same way as the primary hand. It's not. So some people will argue that. Totally fine. You can argue it all you want. And, you know, that's just, in our experiences, that's just the way it is. You know, so. Do you held another workshop in Europe besides Belgium? Currently, right now, no. That's why we've been marketing the Belgium thing for almost a year. And we've been telling people for almost a year now to prepare for the Belgium seminar. If you want to come and train with me in Europe, then that's the seminar that you have to go to. That's the one you have to attend this year. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to get back to the European countries is. That's why we've been marketing it, and we've been, you know, saying, dude, come and train. A lot of people are waiting for me to get to their town. But you guys have to understand too that I have my own life I have to live too. And I have a lot of people that are demanding my time. So I'm trying. But I only have 365 days in a year like you do too. And I have other obligations other than just traveling and teaching seminars. That's why you got to get out to them. Like, you know, if you want to train with me and you want to kind of learn how we do things, see how we do things, experience how we do things, you got to make it happen, dude. It's just, that's just the way it is, right? I can't always come to you, but I can try to at least get close to try to make it easier for you. So you got to take some initiative on your part and show up. You know, I mean, that's just the truth. Looking forward when you come to Belgium. Great to hear the plans. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it too. So I will be seeing everybody in Belgium next weekend. Next Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna be training, and we're probably gonna be training somewhere between 6 to 8 hours each day. We might go 9 or 10 hours each day. I don't know, we'll kind of see. We'll kind of see how the flow goes, but we'll at least get 7 to 8 hours in. We might go over. Like my ITCs, when I run them, which is our 5-day immersion training camp, I do them once a year. They're scheduled for 8 hours of training a day. That's not including lunch. Okay, lunch is usually about an hour, hour and a half. They're scheduled for 8 hours of training, physical training. A lot of times we're doing the physical training for around 10 to 11 hours. Because we just go, man. Like once I'm in, I'm in. Like we're just going. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. You guys are gonna learn a lot. You're gonna develop a lot. You will definitely be surprised with yourself at how much you're gonna accomplish on these 2 days in Belgium. Guarantee it. I can promise you that. You're gonna be very pleased. Everybody that actually comes out and trains and puts the work in and does the drills and does, you know, really works and puts the effort in, every single person at one of my seminars are like, they're just amazed by what they accomplish. All right? So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be awesome. Thanks for the videos on short staff. Been practicing. I got all these mosquitoes on me now. I'm slowing down. Oh, come on. It's like you press one thing and all these other things happen on the videos here. All right, let's see. Been practicing short staff thanks to you and the great videos. You are awesome. Keep up. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Glad that you like the staff videos. Yeah, I just filmed a whole bunch of spear videos for the training academy, the online training academy. I got a whole bunch of videos that we still got to film for that. But yeah, I'm really glad that you are liking those videos. Kali has a different take on those on the long pole weapons. And I have a very different take on those two, because I had to like learn other things, you know. I'm like, didn't agree with some styles of Kali that was doing with them, because we just put stuff to the test here at Kali Center. And when I'm training like with our staff and stuff, we just go, oh, well, let's see what happens. And sometimes you get thrusted in the face with a spear, you know, you get a fencing mask on or what, but sometimes it happens and you go, oh, that's why the Europeans did this and did not do what those Kali people are doing. So, you know, different things, you know, different things. Very good. Hello, teacher. Hey, man, what's going on? Looking forward to any plans coming to Belgium. Awesome. I think I already saw that. Some of these are out of order, but that's all right, because YouTube keeps hiding the comments for me. They keep fading away. Would be cool if you came to Sweden one day. It would be, man. Sweden is a country I definitely would love to see and visit, and that would be awesome. Maybe you can help make that happen. How are you, teacher? I'm good, man. Celebrating 5 years of Kali Center. Yesterday was our 5-year anniversary. Awesome. Fine for me. Awesome. Thanks for the explanation on left versus right. Keep up the good work, and thank you for all that you do. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Thank you for the question. That's a question I get a lot, and it's a question we've investigated a ton in, a ton. Like, I still train my left hand, so like I'm still very coordinated with my left hand, like, you know. So it's not impossible to fight left hand versus right hand, but when we start getting into those other things, right, fighting as a unit, multiple opponents, you know, if you're fighting left-handed versus 8, 9, or 10 right-handed multiple opponents, you start really seeing some issues, right? So, you know, we put a lot of time in investigating these questions. So, like, we don't just hear a question and then shout out an answer. Like, we've actually put hours upon hours upon hours of investigating the questions and how everything actually works out. So, like, when I say that I'm training every day, I'm not kidding. I'm actually training every day. Like, if I say I train for 12 hours that day, I'm probably being generous. I probably train more like 15 or 16 hours that day. Like, I've been out here since 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was training like right before I went live on Facebook. So, you know, which was like an hour ago. So, all right, well, I'm heading back out. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everyone that's spending your time with me. I know I was on here way longer than I planned. We're hitting almost 50 minutes now. I don't know how many people are going to actually watch this, but thank you so much. Thank you for celebrating Kali Center with me, and training Kali and sharing Kali and just being involved and showing your support anyway, you know, whether it's just by viewing or, you know, participating in the videos, you know, with comments and thumbs up and subscribing and sharing, and or if you've ever purchased any of our training courses, our DVD downloads, Inner Triangle, if you're an Inner Triangle member or you once were an Inner Triangle member, if you come out to our seminars, any of that stuff, like any level of support is very much appreciated. Lots of gratitude goes out to you guys, and thank you very much. Obviously, make sure to thank the staff, guys. That is, to me, honestly, the most important thing that you guys can really do is in the comments, just thank Tom, thank Ali, thank Kevin, thank these guys when they're in the videos and when they're working, because they really devote a lot of time to this stuff, and it's not always easy. You know, like these guys, you know, myself, we still have our personal lives that we have to, you know, deal with and battle through and all that stuff. So for them to take the time to do this and be dedicated to Kali, and, you know, and honestly being so loyal to Kali Center, like I never asked them to be loyal to Kali Center. This is of their own choosing. You know, like I don't ask people to be a part of Kali Center. Right, I might put a pitch in my video to like buy something, but I'm not like, you know, that's it. Like, I don't ask people like, oh, hey man, stay, whatever. Like, I don't do that. So everybody is just is there by choice, and I appreciate that. And just make sure, you know, that's the most important thing to me, is just make sure that you guys are you know, saying thank you to those guys. So on to another year, my friends. On to another year. Let's see what this year has in store for us. And I know I've got some things that are coming up that's going to probably by 2020. You guys are going to see some pretty cool stuff on the both here on the YouTube channel, and then also on the Inner Triangle and all that stuff. You guys are going to see some pretty cool stuff coming up in 2020, because I got some life-changing events that are happening, that are opening up a lot more of what I can do for Kali Center and for your training and all that stuff. So looking forward to it. All right, guys, I'm out of here, and I will talk to everybody soon. All right.